Walsh Asset Management President and CIO Kevin Mon has some rare stats that might just change your mind on at least whether to sell, right, Kevin?
Absolutely. I mean, people are right to question how much longer this bull market can run. And we did just recently hit the 3-year birthday of this current bull market in October. So I asked my research team to go back, find out if this is a good signal or a bad signal. And what they found was that over the last 50 years, the 5 times the bull market has hit its 3rd-year birthday, guess what? It continued to run for an average of 8 total years, which would suggest we have 5 more years to run. The shortest run was 5 years, which means we have 2 more years to run. In 2 of those instances, we hit double-digit years. So there is reasons to be optimistic moving forward, but you have to consider valuations. You can't just buy at any price in this type of frothy market.
And it's no shock. I mean, look, the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, they've all posted decent gains year to date. And so a long overdue correction, perhaps, which is something that suddenly we've got David Solomon of Goldman Sachs and Ted Pick of Morgan Stanley warning, okay, a 10 to 20% correction is coming, although they specifically said anywhere from 1 to 2 years now.
Right.
So that's kind of drive a truck through it.
Absolutely. And I do think, Liz, there will be more short-term bouts of volatility, but each bout of volatility will be met with cash on the sidelines coming back into the market and chasing all the returns that most retail investors haven't enjoyed over the last 2 years. And it's going to go right into the areas of the market that are most overvalued. So I would suggest to investors, look to other areas of the market for growth and play that overall AI infrastructure theme.
Okay, but that isn't a truly other area of growth.
This is true.
I mean, it's certainly a subsector of the AI growth.
Yes.
So you're saying go there.
I would say to go there. I'm not saying don't look at NVIDIA or ignore the semiconductors and chips. But how about a company like Amphenol? Their stock is up over 100% year to date. We talk about valuations. Their forward PE is around 34 right now. Not too rich. And they supply the electrical connectivity for data centers.
Right. Fiber optic connectors, cable harnesses, all that kind of stuff.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And then there's a company like Vertiv Holdings, which I think we've discussed on your program before.
Yes.
They supply the cooling solutions at data centers. Their stock's up over 70% year to date.
Can I push you?
Please.
Why are you telling me to buy a stock that has run up that much?
Absolutely. So if we look at their 3rd quarter earnings, what we learned from Amphenol and what we learned from Vertiv is that their sales grew over 53% year over year in Amphenol's case and 29% year over year in the case of Vertiv. We also knew that they raised their forward-looking guidance, and they're still trading at reasonable multiples. So I think there's more reason to grow. And you know why? Because Jensen Huang told us, who's been on your show multiple times, that there's going to be somewhere between $3 and $4 trillion invested in AI infrastructure by the end of this decade. We're not even at $1 trillion right now, so there's more room to run.
Yeah, and this brings me back to Palantir and Alex Karp. I can see his frustration, but when you think back to, say, for example, Tesla, way back in the day, so we're talking 10, 12 years ago, when they were in real trouble, not so much because they weren't growing as a company, but because the short sellers were trying to kill them. And the one difference back then between Tesla and Palantir today is that Tesla, 60% of its float was being shorted back then.
Yes.
I checked. Palantir only has 2 or 3% of its float shorted. So somebody really believes in this company, and it's probably because they're seeing massive growth in their, not just their Gotham business, which is government, but their foundry business, which is enterprise.
Absolutely, and I'm one of those people who believes in this company. If you look at what they've reported, they beat on earnings, they beat on revenues, they raised their forward-looking guidance, and their stock fell over 9% today alone. Why? Because of fears over valuation. The valuation is actually better today than it was yesterday. And I recognize that on current PE, they're trading over 600 times current earnings, well over 100 times forward-looking earnings. But let's look at what this company is doing and give them time to continue to grow, because they will.
Okay, is there any non-AI related sector that you like right now?
Yes, biotech. I'm going to stick within the healthcare sector. And I was really encouraged by the announcement between Eli Lilly and NVIDIA that they formed a strategic partnership to work together to build a supercomputer.
NVIDIA's in there, though.
NVIDIA, of course, is in. They can't escape, right? They're entangled everywhere. But they're building an AI factory to work on drug discovery and drug development. AI used for good.